Philippines. As provided under the rules of the House of Representatives, the Committee on Legislative Franchise has jurisdiction over all matters directly and principally relating to the grant, amendment, extension, or revocation of franchises. This committee, with its mandate, must ensure that the privilege of a franchise is given to those who have complied with our laws and have worked for the good of the Filipino people. As always, it is a common good that the committee continues to strive in the process. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. May I now direct the COMSEC to inform this committee as to the resource persons that were invited and those that have responded to the invitation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, the following resource persons have responded to our invitation. From the Energy Regulatory Commission, we have Chairperson Mona Lisa de Malanta, Mr. Vladimir Mancenido, and Engineer George Herbert Manuel. From the Department of Energy, we have Undersecretary Sharon Garin, Attorney Gabriel Corpus, Ms. Madonna Naling, and Ms. Levitica Grace Bautista. From the National Electrification Administration, we have Administrator Antonio Mariano Almeda. From the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, we have Attorney Leonor Felipa Cynthia Alabanza, Attorney Lali O. Malyari, Mr. Clark Agustin, Mr. Christian Areño, Mr. Giovanni Randolfo Galang, Mr. Engineer Isidro Cacho, and Attorney Manuel Martin S. Casura.
Thank you very much, Committee Secretary. Our last briefing regarding the topic was held on September 4, 2024, where the following points were raised. Number one, 28 system impact studies remain pending with the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. The committee members maintain that the embedded generation and allowing third-party construction are some solutions to NGCP's problems. DOE confirmed that NGCP sometimes allows generators to undertake projects and that there's a need for more transparent system so generation companies know what they are allowed to undertake. The DOE further reported that there's a need for additional requirements on transmission due to the influx of investments. As such, there's a need to review NGCP's concessions agreement and franchise. The committee ordered the NGCP to divulge that what other shortcomings they are experiencing so Congress can consider the same in the amendment of the EPIRA and other related laws. Since then, the ERC, in its decision issued November 26, found that NGCP has failed to justify significant delays in the implementation of capital expenditure projects. This resulted in the 12.3 million peso fine for the grantee. Previous to this, in August 2024, ERC also penalized NGCP in the amount of 3.5 million pesos for delays in completing 10 other CAPEX projects. With this background, may I now start by asking ERC to update us on the recent decisions regarding involving NGCP.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the honorable members of the committee. I am pleased to update the committee that we're at the tail end of the reset for the fourth RP. We have completed all the evaluation. As per our rules, we are required to publish the draft final determination for the reset for 2016 to 2022, and we have done so. And there were comments that were submitted by the stakeholders, including NGCP, and we are completing the evaluation of these comments, and we expect to issue the final determination by January 2025, Mr. Chair.
You still have the floor.
Maybe just to complete the status, Mr. Chair, the main point of, if it can be recalled, in November of last year, we issued the partial determination. This is for 2016 to 2020. Which resulted in a reduction of the allowable revenue of NGCP. In the final determination, because of changes in the approaches adopted, particularly by the majority of the Commission, there is now a potential increase in the allowable revenue of NGCP. This is now subject to the final evaluation of the Commission.
Million sa NGCP, kakafine nyo na ng 3 million as stated. May I know?
Yes, Mr. Chair. That is in relation to the delayed projects of NGCP. We investigated 37 delayed projects. We, as required by due process, we required NGCP to submit their explanation. Out of the 37 projects, we found that there were unjustified delays for 34 projects. Because of the number of projects, this was not taken up in just one commission meeting. We had to take it up in 2 commission meetings, and so there were 2 decisions, but they were part of one lot of investigations of the commission. So it was a fine of total 15.8 million pesos for 34 projects with unjustified delays.
And that's averaging around 500,000 per project. If I am to divide,
if we just
more than, is that how are the fines established?
Yes.
Is this a fixed rate, or is it?
Mr. Chair, we have a schedule of fines and penalties. The first two instances of penalties are only penalized, I think, at 100,000 pesos per violation, and then the succeeding ones are at 500. So there was a graduation of penalties. But since we realized that the cost of these penalties were, couldn't really be compared to the cost of the delays, but we are bound by the schedule of fines and penalties, which capped it at 500,000 pesos.
Chair De Malanta, may 3 million, merong 12 million. Tanong, bayad na ba ho?
Yes, Mr. Chair, nagbayad naman po sila, pero meron pong parang paid under protest because they said they will still explore the legal remedies available to them to address the findings that we made.
Thank you very much. Yusek Sharon Garin, you were raising your hand. Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
it's a general statement for the issue.
Please speak close to your
It's
mic.
not related to, it's not exactly related to the issue discussed by Chair Mona. It's a statement of DOE on the issue on the climate change vis-a-vis the transmission assets we have.
So it's not really connected to what you said.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So maybe NGCP, where's the representative? Ma'am,
Good morning, Mr.
kayo
Chair.
naman po. Ano po masasabi nyo? Ano po update sa mga delays on CAPEX projects at saka system impact studies?
For the system impact study, Mr. Chair, we don't have any more delayed SIS. We're all up to date. If there are any pending SIS right now, it's within the timelines that have been prescribed under the relevant regulations. As regards po the statement of si Chair Mona on the penalties, the reason we are exploring our options is because we've seen also that there are some really misalignment on timelines. There are several po that are projects that are subject of the ERC's latest penalty order. But I'll just draw an example po. Yung malaking proyekto sa Visayas po, we filed that with the ERC in March 2015. It was approved in July 2019, and we completed it in March 2024. So that was completed, if you count from the time that they approved it, a little over 4 years. However, of course, because this was a very important project, we did begin construction of this project before the approval date. So, there's really po, an issue on the alignment of timelines, but I do know Chair Mona is working hard so that we can align these. And same for NGCP po, na meron talagang regulatory delays kaming hinaharap, pero at the same time, ginagawan rin ho namin ng paraan para mabawasan ho yung mga magiging actual delays sa implementation. But again, marami rin po kaming ibang naging hadlang, katulad po ng isang Supreme Court ruling na nagsasaad na hindi po maaring mag-implement ng mga proyekto na wala pong ERC approval. But again, constant naman po ang aming coordination with the DOE and the ERC.
Attorney, you manifested in the last hearing na an impact study don't take you 90 days to go through this. You still follow it. Are you able to, kasi ang sinabi ng DOE during that hearing at saka ng mga power generators na hindi po totoo na 90 days lang.
Mr. Chair, actually it's 60 days, and currently po wala po kaming backlog. So kung meron pong mga pending pang SIS, it's within the 60-day period.
Okay. So you confirm that you're within that range?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
When you say there are no delays, talagang there's nothing pending on your table right now?
Kung may pending po, it's within the 60-day period allowed to us to issue the SIS po.
Okay, I'll get back to you there. Sharon, I think, are you going to yield or you want to answer that? The statement of the GCP.
There's
Yes,
two
you said
things.
Sharon Garin muna, ha?
Mr. Chair, there's two things in the SIS.
Yes.
There's the queuing part and then the SIS part. So we have to differentiate. Kasi before kasi taon-taon din para makapila ka eh. And then also it takes time for them to finish. Para sabihin sa'yo, halimbawa, mag-apply ka ngayon, ang iba niyan naghihintay ng 1 taon or 6 months para mapila sila sa SIS. And then the SIS, it depends also on the NGCP how long it will take.
Attorney, the 60 days that you've mentioned, is that the queuing part or is that, what part is this? So lumalabas there are two moving parts here.
Yeah, may I refer, Mr. Chair, Mr. Randy Galang, to answer more with more specificity.
What's his position in NGCP? Ano po position? Bakit yung pangalan tsaka yung position niya?
Good morning.
Good morning po.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm the Assistant Vice
Please
President.
speak closer to your microphone. Thank you.
I'm the Assistant Vice President of Technical Management Department.
Okay.
The 60-day period is the period to complete the study,
Okay.
not the queuing. And once a proponent agreed, so they know that they will follow a certain queue. In other words, they accept the timeline of NGCP, and also they have the option to engage the services of a third party in case the timeline is not acceptable to them.
Mr. Galang, gano'ng katagal naman ang queuing part? It takes you 60 days to approve, pero the queuing part can take 5 years.
I will check the queue we have right now, but right now we don't have any pending system impact study.
Okay, I would like to know what is the average time frame allotted for a queue. Yan, kasi may queuing part po kayo. Kunyari, mag-apply ako na yun. Eh, bago umabot po sa study, it can take years. And that will cause the delay also.
Mr. Chairman, it's not necessarily a queue because it's in accordance with the proponent's own timeline. In other words, they agree that they are still on time once they know the schedule of our system impact study. So it's acceptable to them, in other words, Mr. Chairman. So it's not necessarily a queue. They know that the study will start on a certain period, so it's acceptable to them. Otherwise, they have the option to engage the services of a third party.
You mean that the queue will not delay anything, really?
That is correct, Mr. Chair. Kumbaga, pag sinabi na ang study po nyo mag-start next month, acceptable po yon sa proponent.
That's right.
Kasi kung hindi po, they have the option to engage the services of a third party.
Yeah, pero kayo pa rin na mag-approve nun, di ba?
Yes po, review na lang po yon, mas mabilis.
That's why nga eh, kasi ang gusto ko malaman, from day one na mag-queue ko, ganong katagal, meron pa pong umabot ba ng taon na naka-queue?
Wala pong ganon, Mr. Chair.
Wala. Thank you very much, Mr. Galang. Okay, so we will get back to you. Are there any other members that would like, ERC, do you confirm that?
Mr. Chair, actually last year or early this year, we received complaints from developers that have been in queue for more than a year actually. That's why we ordered NGCP to make their queuing system transparent, post it in their website, and they have done so. So maybe currently or in the existing status, there are no queuing of that delayed magnitude, but in the past there were, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so the transparency has made it faster?
I think so, Mr. Chair, because everybody, because there were charges before that NGCP would prioritize certain projects. So we said we don't tolerate that. So make your process transparent, and they have done so.
Ma'am, so that we're all on the same page, please define developer.
They are most of them are RE developers. They are generation companies that intend to build power plants before they can connect. They can start building, but before they can connect their plants, they need the system impact study from NGCP.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So, any member that would like to ask a question?
Yeah, just very quickly, Mr. Chair.
The Honorable J.J. Suarez, our Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much. This is very quick, Mr. Chair. I was going through the concession agreement that NGCP entered into, and since we're talking about projects of NGCP, Mr. Chair, can I request for a list of all the accredited contractors used by NGCP to repair, maintain, improve, expand their transmission assets? Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I just need that list, lahat ng mga
NGCP, I'm sorry.
accredited contractors sila.
NGCP, there's a request by the Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, we submitted it already, Mr. Chair.
May I confirm with the Committee Secretary? Are you in receipt of these documents as requested? Can you please show the Deputy Speaker?
And the specific projects, Mr. Chair, that they've undertaken as well?
That has not been submitted. The
Specific projects for
Yes.
contractor, Mr.
Yes.
Chair? Okay. We will submit.
That has not been
We will
submitted.
submit, Mr. Chair.
Kasi dito po natin makikita, Mr. Chair, kung talagang up-to-date at saka yung performance ng NGC pagdating sa pag-expand ng mga bagong linyang kuryente na kinikailangan ng ating mga bayan-bayan, especially yung mga tinatawag natin geographically disadvantageous area. So I just wanted to see from a macro level the performance of the contractors being employed by NGCP to improve our transmission lines. So not just the list, but I also need the specific area and projects that they're engaged in. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. So we're clear. We will be expecting those documents
Yes, Mr. Chair.
before the next hearing.
Yes, Mr.
Thank you
Chair.
very much. The next interpreter would be the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Okay, thank
of
you
the
so
Lone
much.
District of Santa Rosa City.
Maraming salamat po. 23 tayo ngayon, nagtatrabaho pa tayo. Talagang para sa bayan. So, maraming salamat sa lahat ng resource persons who have been here. A while ago, Chairman Mona Lisa have mentioned itong final determination by 2025. If I'm not mistaken, noong 2019, we started discussing about this weighted average cost of capital kasi it all boils down with this, and even the delayed projects that we are talking about, lahat po yan ay kasama doon sa pinakadulo na kung saan ay magkaroon tayo ng final determination for the weighted average cost of capital. So ang tanong ko dito, Mona Lisa, doon sa pagdetermine ng final determination by 2025 from 15.01% weighted average cost of capital that was computed since 2011 and used for the third regulatory period of 2011 to 2015, bumaba ito ng 10.3. Tama? Am I correct?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, okay. So, bumaba po yung ating weighted average of capital. Kung baga, ito yung profit na makukuha ng NGCP. Would you agree with me that in the consideration of the final determination, you have a draft initial determination that was approved by the ERC? And in accordance with the discussion of the members of the commission, I have seen that you have nag-hire po ba tayo ng mga appraisal para po doon sa pag-compute ng ating regulatory asset base?
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Ang tanong po ay...
Nag-hire ang ERC. Di ba nag-hire tayo ng
We hired consultants.
Royal Asia Appraisal
Appraisers.
Company and also the NCL for the phase 2. Well, ang tanong ko doon, kasi having said that the weighted average cost of capital ng NGCP will be 15.01 to 10.3%, parang hindi po ako makapaniwala na ang ating magiging final determination by 2025 is 10.3%. Considering that according to your discussion with the members of the ERC, ay ang appraised value that was submitted by the RAAC was 173 billion. Am I correct?